This video is going to talk about what Class Connects are in our online school, as well as how to download the Blackboard Launcher, which is the program we use for Class Connects. So like the screen says, gotta get to class on time. There are two things we do when you log into the online school during your school day. One is your live instruction, which we call Class Connects, and the program we use for Class Connect is called Blackboard Collaborate. You also have, of course, your assignments and lessons on top of your live classes. So how do you get to your Class Connects? There's multiple ways to get to Class Connects. When you first log into your online school using your student account, use the student's username or password because you never want to do assignments or go into class without being in the student account. So once you're in the student account, in the today's to-do list on the home page, you'll see, again, those two things. There are your Class Connect sessions. The blue is the hyperlink to get into the class, or there's the lesson shortcuts. We recommend our families to use the daily plan as well. It's a little bit easier to maneuver in and out and know what you're supposed to be doing. So that's another place to go. So you can click one of these and it will take you into downloading the Blackboard Launcher. If you go into the plan, you can go to the daily or weekly plan. Here's what the daily plan looks like. Again, this is your daily lesson plans and tells you exactly what you need to do for that day. During your week of onboarding, you will see many lessons show up. You are only responsible for the checklist. There will be lessons at the bottom of this list of lessons called Online Learning K-8 that you do need to complete before you do anything else. So this daily plan is kind of your daily lesson plan. Here are the 3 Class Connects that this student has. So again, the blue are the hyperlinks of how to get into class. It will tell you if they're required or optional. These times are not adjustable. It's in the master schedule and they're live classes that other kids are invited to. So you have to kind of rearrange your schedule around your required Class Connects. Then you have your list of assignments for that day, what you need to complete. Again, the blue, you click on where it says lesson and it takes you right into the lesson. Over here, it tells you what type of lesson it is, if the learning coach is needed, if it's all on the computer. And then over here, if there's a checkpoint or an assessment tied with the lesson, that would be right here, or it will say no assessment with this lesson. Over here is where the learning coach marks off the lesson completed. All of these are marked off. If you can see, the green checks mean you mastered them. If you get a half circle, that means the student there was a checkpoint or an assessment with the lesson and the student didn't meet the requirement of getting 80% or more. So when you see a half circle, that means you have to redo that lesson until you do get 80%. So that's kind of what the daily plan looks like. And again, you can click on the links to get into class, or you can click on the weekly plan. Same thing, it just gives you a weekly view instead of a daily view. Same things, the top part is the Class Connects that you are required to attend or what are optional. And then the list of lessons that you have. Here are those 4 lessons you need to complete for part of your onboarding training called Online Learning K-8. They show up at the bottom of your course list. And then when you see that open circle like this, learning coaches, that's where you mark off the lesson completed. Once you mark it off completed, it will ask you how long it took you to do the lesson, and then you can start entering in attendance time that way. And we'll cover more specific in another video on marking off lessons and entering in attendance. So here's another place in the blue hyperlink to click to get into class. So any of those places to click on the Class Connect. But the first time you come into a Class Connect on a computer, it will make you download the Blackboard Launcher. Now I use Chrome, so this is what Chrome looks like. If you use Firefox or Internet Explorer, it might look a little different on how your computer downloads. So I click download and I'm using Windows, and it will take me through the process. This box comes up even if I've already downloaded it, and it keeps popping up Then of course you don't have to keep downloading it. Then it says if you already installed the launcher, click Launch Blackboard Collaborate now. And so you click on that link and it will take you right in to Blackboard. So when I download it, I click on the download. Down here will show up a little box that pops up. I have an extra button to click for my download, so it opens it up. And then I click Run. Then it will tell me I'm verifying the application, so I know it's working. It might take 5 minutes to do that. And then it will pop you into Blackboard. A couple troubleshooting things. Use either Chrome or Firefox for Blackboard. The other thing is, if you know how to delete your browsing history, your cookies, your cache, restart your computer before you do this Blackboard download. You never should have to download the Blackboard again unless there's kind of an upgraded version of it, which doesn't happen very often. Or of course, if you're using your personal computer for your first couple Class Connects until you get your K-12 laptop. So each computer, you'll have to download it the first time. So those are just some troubleshooting. Once you come in, this is what Blackboard looks like. This little icon right here that has a little microphone and firecracker, that's the Audio Wizard setup. That will set up your audio to make sure it's coming on of the right stuff and everything's plugged in right. This section is the audio and video section. You don't have access to the talk button unless your teacher or the moderator gives you access. So typing in the chat down here, talking on the microphone, that doesn't automatically happen. That is a privilege that the teachers can give you in class. Also, the video, we don't use that very often for the students, but again, that is another privilege that the teacher has to give you. So when we have chat open, this white bar right here is where you type in your question or comment or answer down here. And then of course, the names will show up right here in the participant section. If you show up through your Learning Coach account, the Learning Coach's name shows up here. So make sure, again, you're using your student's username or password to do any Class Connect or assignment. Also, these are the privileges that the teacher can give you so you can see what you have access to. And these are the teacher buttons that we'll go over more in depth, but that is the emoticon button. If they say, give me a smiley face, they don't mean in chat. They mean use that little icon button. That is the step away temporarily from my computer if you have to go to the restroom, get a drink. Here's your raise your hand button. And here is what we call the polling button. You can use a green check or red X, or they can change it to A, B, C, and D. So that's a little bit about some of the tools which we'll practice in our new student live orientation. You also have what we call the whiteboard area. And just want to remind you guys that teachers and moderators see everything you write in chat and in the window, the whiteboard area right here. So make sure you're safe, responsible, appropriate, and respectful. We do record our sessions, but it is required by state that you attend live Class Connects for your instruction. And then once in a while, another privilege the teacher can give you are whiteboard tools. So those are those right there that show up. And we'll practice those a little bit more in our live orientation. All right, so again, just want to welcome you to the Oregon Virtual Academy. Good luck. Keep in mind, remember these onboarding tests, your 10 steps in your checklist are your priority before you start anything else.